Today we're going to find out the answer to a very important question. How long can all max Paragons get on the perfect map? And first off, what is the perfect map for all Paragons? Well, I think the answer is pretty simple, and that just like 90% of towers, you want the longest track length possible, which is, as of right now in Map Editor, 48 nodes, aka 23.5 loops around the track, with the distance between each node being the maximum possible, aka the bend you see right here. Additionally, to help out stuff like Dart Paragon, I've added logs around whatever border I could around the track, so that could get the maximum amount of damage. Although I personally believe for a maximum Dart Paragon damage, you actually want the map a little bit thinner. But of course, can't forget that there's a bunch of other Paragons that need as much track length as possible. So yeah, that's what I've come up with. And one more additional thing, in the last Tower on the Perfect Map challenge that I tried, I utilized a new feature of Map Editor where you can change the speed of the balloons between each node. And as of right now, the lowest speed you can put the balloons to is 0.5, aka double the amount of time for balloons to exit the track. However, I've decided for this test here, we'll go back to just basic 1 speed. 1, because their survival will be too damn long with double length. And 2, just to keep things consistent in the future if there are lower balloon speed options added. Now, I know there were times where they increased the maximum number of nodes, in which case I'll make an exception and make the longest map even longer. Yeah, those are just the rules I personally set. So I did a little bit of dirty work and started already around 84 with a huge farming setup. Because yes, I am going to try to build up the degree 100 Paragons legitimately, which is going to be a pain in the arse, mostly because of the fact that to get max degree 100 Paragons in single player, you need at least 40 Paragon totems. And considering you only get 1 per round, well, that's a minimum of 40 rounds with 2 Paragons, so... And also to shake things up, the order of which I'm going to build Paragons in is what I personally believe is the weakest all the way to the strongest. So that's why I dropped Boomer Paragon down. It is probably weaker than a Dart Paragon, considering there are walls around everywhere. And I guess getting the Dart Paragon first would cause a lot of lag with the amount of balls it's shooting out. One more thing to note, I've added a mod that allows me to see what degree the Paragon will be, because the game doesn't have that yet, and that's really annoying. So thanks to Doom Bubbles for this awesome utility mod, basically. Even if I change the cache slider, I can see what degree it'll end up being, so I don't have to approximate it. So, very cool. Although, given I want to get it as early as possible, it's probably just going to be a max cash line in the first place. That's why I farmed far enough on this map that I believe I'll have infinite money, even without doing the super hyper optimal farming. Again, that hyper farming is only really needed for boss events, where there's only 120 rounds till the final boss, but here we've got like 300 plus rounds to work with. And of course, just in case you're out of the loop on what it takes to get a perfect Paragon, here's the rundown. First things first, I need to make a correction. You don't need 40 Paragon totems. It's actually only 20. Post update 39, you can see all the details for the Paragon requirement on screen. In addition to that, 100 tier 4 or below upgrades, maximum cash sacrifice, 16.2 million pops, or 4 million cash generated. But obviously, for the purposes of the first Paragon here, we're going to need more than 20 totems because there's not 16.2 million pops to spare in the first 100 plus rounds of this challenge, especially since we have the Monkey Knowledge that decreases the incoming mob HP. That makes it a little bit, just a tad bit longer to get. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you only get 16 million pops at around 131 to 3 or something. It was also not my intention to be able to place boomerangs between the log and the track, because yeah, due to the giant size of the logs, space is absolutely going to be a problem, although I believe I currently have all upgrades required. 100 upgrades only requires 17 of these 042 boomerangs, and I think I do have 17 on the screen. Yep, 19 by my calculation. So with currently 27 totems, each giving 2,000 power each out of a needed 200,000, a max cash ladder currently gets me only to 86. Damn, that is a long way to go. And that just goes to show how important getting those pops are, because those pops are, I believe, 90,000 power or 45% of the requirement needed. That's why we're so far off with 29 totems and counting. Frankly, for my sake, it would have been better to maybe just simulate co-op in single player here, just so we get everything earlier. But if we test now with 40 totems, oh my god, we're so close. I'd assume the extra pops and 1 extra totem next round will be enough to push me over the edge. God, it cannot be understated just how helpful this mod is and why the hell it isn't, in the game yet. But nope, still not here. And number 42, please be here. By the way, I should be upgrading the permacharge over here. I put it in a place where it covers the most track, and nice, it is there. Degree 100, and notice we don't even have to max the cash slider. So I'll do the bare minimum to reach 100, so that would save $100,000, as if that mattered. It doesn't, but let's blast off with, officially, the first Paragon. And next Paragon I want to get, let's do Engineer. Actually, I don't know if I'd say it's the second worst Paragon, given that's like the 5th cheapest Paragon, or 4th cheapest. I don't know off the top of my head, but somewhere in the middle of the pack in price. But all I know for sure is that you want dozens of rounds to charge up the base NG Paragon, so that gets, because that gains attack speed every single round. But even then, I think the damage pales in comparison to, well, the other Paragons for the same price. And that's why NG Paragon's main use is for a good rank boss score, with the insta-killing by selling their sentries. Yep, that's its main purpose. We should be getting 16 million pops in no time, because the bait trap, like, gobbles so much, so easily. Now, as for NG Paragon placement, I would assume somewhere next to the Boomer is fine, because the range is roughly the same. Speaking of the Boomerang, I guess I probably could have put it a little bit more up, but I didn't want to sell the farm just yet. I made enough money, though, that I bet I could just get rid of it now. And I would personally be okay with maybe an NG up here. This is good because, obviously, you don't have to have the tower hitting the track to be satisfactory, because the bad hitbox is very, very big. But again, if I want things super optimal, it probably should have been higher, and even more to the left so that it would get, like, every attack along the curve here. But we're not going to think that deep, especially for the first Paragon, because, like, it's going to make almost zero difference in the end. And since we don't care about money at this point, we should be prioritizing damage as well, so got a Homeland to help out the Sentry Champion there, and also Ultra Boosted. If memory serves you correctly, this degree number has to be, like, 88 or 89 before using the cash slider to end up with 100, so I'll keep a lookout for that milestone. But once again, we've surpassed 20 totems because it took longer than 20 rounds to get 16 million pops. Are we there yet? Oh yeah, we definitely are. 91, I blew that by a mile. So that'll save me $500,000 once again, if that even matters, which doesn't. So drop it down. Don't even bother dropping the sentries down for damage, because obviously I want to prioritize other things doing damage first. This is probably not the weakest remaining Paragon, but I'm gonna go with the Buccaneer next. First off, because if I want to go for a sub-Paragon, I gotta get rid of all the boats first, because I don't have enough water space in the custom map that I made. So let's first at least Tech Bot. Tech Bot and Power Lord should be, very accelerated damage, especially because of the buff that makes it so that it hooks, double the amount of balloons now. And you can kind of see, even though I have barely any pops on it, we started with like a degree 65 off the bat, because of all the money that the boats made, that they are probably the equivalent of millions and millions of pops. Additionally, if you don't mind, let me clear some farm space for the following, because I actually need to move around my boats a little bit. So what I wanted was actually, wait, you can't Chinook onto, like, land that the Lord of the Abyss gives? Huh. If I place a new one down, I certainly can. I only want to do this so that, like, I can move the eventual Bull Paragon. I would say here's good. Again, I'm probably just being very picky, but this spot gets slightly more track area compared to this spot and this spot. Actually, never mind. I'll just upgrade this one. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, in case you didn't know, Lord of the Abyss is very awesome for if in the event I messed up and didn't bring enough water on this custom map, I can just gain tons and tons of water space. Although I probably, worst case, would have just dropped a kiddie pool if it came down to that. So currently degree 85, 15 totems. I think we're just waiting on the 5 extra totems, because we definitely have the 16.2 million required in the pop department. And now number 20, and it should be 100. Nice. Paragon number 3 of 8. Let's get it. And next up, now that we clear the water, let's add the sub. This one, frankly, doesn't really matter for placement, because obviously the Intel sub has infinite range, so I'll just pick, like, over here so that we have Intel covered. Now, to get 60 million, the sub is going to be pretty annoying, because it's not very good pop-wise, let me just say. Yeah, seriously, especially because I forgot to consider the fact that the Bow Paragon hooks in balloons automatically, so that's a lot of, like, damage that is now missing that I could have gotten the sub. What I should have done to make things less painful is do what I'm currently doing for the Wizard and the eventual Dart, aka put maybe just one tier 5 at the very entrance, so that could slowly accrue pop. So just by placing a wizard earlier. 5 million out of 16, just like that. Okay, good news. This wasn't as bad as I thought. 33 totems, and I believe we have it. Let's just verify. Indeed, we do. We can put in 840k. And that's now half of the Paragon's afforded. It's been a while since I've seen the max level 100 sub Paragon, but damn, that boy looks majestic. Now again, good thing I have stayed prepared prepping the other towers pops, because if you take a look at the ninja here, just the Grand Zabo tech botted has already gotten well past the 60 million required, so we'll stop there with it. And I figure, why not? Let's get that one next. It'll be next to the Boom Paragon, because I think it has just a little bit more range than it. Actually, I lied. Let's do it here instead. So we have 20 totems now, so we can probably do the minimum amount of rounds to get 100. And indeed we can. 5 out of 8. Let us blast off. Yeah, it's a little bit off-center. I feel like this is the worst possible placement for my Banana Central, because it's striking right through the middle of the lane. But again, see what I'm trying to do here? Leave enough gaps so that you see the ninja is attacking. I think it should be hitting bads. Might be missing a little bit, but good enough. I feel like I should sell it for the next Paragon, aka the Wizard, because that also, I believe, has pretty small range. So right over here would be a good spot for it. Let's just start building up the things we need, though, of course. I lied again. It's going to be over here, because I think the Wizard Paragon range is actually at least as big as the Boomerang, if not bigger, so it'll be all right over there. This is actually almost all my money, wow. I might be poorer than I thought. Only 250,000 left with 2 Paragons to go. One of which, of course, being the most expensive one. It's hidden here, but I might be bailed out by my Quincy action figure. I never sold it in the 260 rounds it has been active. I think we'll finally get working on our Dirt Paragon next, although if we're looking at the pops, it's not looking too great. Those 2 crossbows are only at half of the 16.2 million. So I know a great way to build up pops is Pants Fan Club. Frankly though, I don't really mind waiting more than 20 rounds. Not exactly a race at the end of the day, and we're still nowhere even close to losing, guys. With the current 6 Paragons, I think the bad, it didn't even take 1 full loop through out of the 23 yet. See, just another 20 rounds and the income of this thing increased by over $1 million, so we're definitely good for the Ace Paragon. So much so that I think I'll finally get rid of the Banana Central here. I'm gonna use that space for the Dart Monkey. As you heard me mention at the very start, this map might be a little bit too wide. The lanes might be too wide for the Dart Paragon. So therefore in the middle, it might not get the most peak DPS. But if I put it like where it has range to reach the corner, then not only will it once again maximize track length, but it will get those awesome corner bounces. Corner bounces is what we're looking for. So with 1 more totem here, I think it's there. 88 should equate to 100. Okay, not quite. But just several more pops. As you see, we currently have 23 totems. So I spent 6 extra than I might have needed if I had every other requirement for the Dart Monkey. Fine, we'll do a 24th Paragon totem then. And this should definitely, yep, 89 always guarantees it. Oh. I don't know if it's an exception for the Dart Paragon because there's like 2 Crossmasters and that's why 89 doesn't equate to it, but I won't question any further. I'll wait. Now, it's 90. There we go. We finally have enough, so we can save about 100k in the cash slider. By the way, for those who don't know why you don't exactly need a max cash slider, even though we just barely scraped to degree 100, is because the price of all the other towers you dropped, the non-tier 5 Dart Monkeys, is already taken into account. Like, the max cash slider is if, hypothetically, you didn't put any money into non-tier 5 Dart Monkeys. But the maximum amount on the slider never subtracts. So say you spent $1 million on Ace Tier 4s, that means for your max cash slider is technically the max on the slider minus $1 million. Something along the lines of that. On the topic of Ace, well, we're finally going to finish off the final Paragon. So 17 Ace pads, let's do that right now. I technically don't even have to look at the Baked Plains pops to know that we're there, but I'll just show you out of curiosity, yeah. 56 million out of 16. Cleared that by a landslide, and if all things hold, it looks like we're gonna get this right before round 300 hits. Talk about timing in. Holy crap, I actually did run out of money. At least I sold. I've now officially sold all my farms, but without the income coming in from the Quincy NFT, I can't upgrade anymore. Well, we'll do that later. Wait, no, hang on. I gotta get rid of the NFT next round because I'm not gonna be able to afford Paragon totems. I forgot to take, like, the cost of that into mind. Whoops. Well, again, I think the math does math out, thankfully, because I only need like 3 million, but this also from before. We'll do that right now, because I need the 22k for each Paragon totem ASAP. Sorry, did I say before around 300 for the Ace Paragon earlier? I must have done the math wrong, but 302 is when we finally get 20 totems. And if I do this properly, I should see a 100 light up right about now. Looks like we can deduct 300k off of the cash slider, so let's do it. And placement doesn't really matter as long as I guess it's in range of the sub Paragon, so that if I submerge it, I get the cooldown reduction. Otherwise, I think the play here is always to leave it in Monkey unless you truly want to sweat it out and micro it so it's on top of the F-pad every time. But it is at this point, we clear the board. So it is only the max 100 Paragons, all 8 of them. We'll leave Geraldo here because he was very helpful. You know, it would really suck for him to do all the hard work and then miss out on the fun part, or being a part of the fun part. So again, for the Ace ability, not the most optimal map because it'd be better if the lanes were thinner so that the card bomb can land on the whole thing instead of just half. But just if you ask me, it's worth the sacrifice because of the power of the other Paragons we have on screen. Don't sleep on the Wizard 2, I'm telling ya. Now, it's also at this point that I'm going to do a bit more modding. This time, not just utility, but a whole ass game changer, or rather round changer. And here's why. If you couldn't tell, every round is going to get progressively longer and longer, because it's going to take longer for our towers to kill it, because of the increased scaling, and we only have so much power from the Paragons. Hence why I've jumped to round 400 here, which we still should be able to beat fairly easily. But yeah, you can imagine that if I didn't skip round here, just think about how long it would take to get there legitimately. Especially when we get close to death, and those bads are taking 23 loops to be popped. And factor in lag on top of all that, although I don't think that you should get any lag rate from here, because this is all the towers are dropping down. Normally gets laggy because of tower spam. But I think with just Paragons, we are a-okay. Round 500 now. As always, we should make sure to use the damage time on the second Wizard Phoenix ability, because that, like, is a 30-second, I believe, damage over time, so just wait a good bit, and you should be seeing a crazy amount of damage out of that. I feel like maybe for some cases also, possibly I should have put towers in straight lines, because, like, Metamorphosis, for example, would absolutely benefit from a straight line here. But instead, as you see here, it's only going to be hitting, like, 3 or a small group of bats at a time. I swear this round's taken at least 5 minutes, and we're not that close yet. Anytime now, we'll use the final strike too. I think the only thing we miss out on by skipping rounds is just the accurate pop counts. I think they will normalize eventually the more rounds we play out, because right now it benefits the Paragons who drop down first, of course. I think a couple of these were from round 400, because as you saw, they came out before I changed the round. So that round just might have been slightly inaccurate. And finally, there is the final balloon of the round. Now, to test out round 600, I think once we finally find the round that these Paragons die to, we'll do a binary search of sorts. Shout out CS Majors to see exactly the round we die on, or maybe I could just, like, go to a much higher round and start the binary search now. But I feel like given how that round went, 600 might be the end already. I'm gonna do some light counting, but it's hard when, like, the entire loop is covered in bads. I would say right now, 2 loops through. So 2.5, 3, I lost track of it. It blended in with all the other bads coming into the round. All right, I give up. Also, by the way, I changed the carpet bomb position to actually be in the top left corner, because I believe that covers a bit more area in terms of bends. I'm awaiting the game over screen any moment now, by the way, because it's gotta be close. I could feel it happening soon. The highest HP BADs are still, I think, this one. That's not even half HP yet. Wild. Maybe I should try to aim my Phoenix so that the damage time lands. So yeah, I'm gonna hold on to this. I'm gonna wait till it's on top of those high HP bads, like there. Maybe that ought to help out a little bit. Oh, and there it is. Game over screen. Yeah, what the heck, that wasn't even close. So I guess now we begin the binary search. Change round to 550. And let's give it another go. Just out of curiosity, how much does the final strike do? 5 million added with UT, alright. How much does Carpet Bomb do? From 1.050 to 1.054, so like 4 million damage there. Looking good so far though, we're only a dozen bads away from beating the round, folks. That may not sound like much, but they are all at the last 20% of their HP. And I don't have to re-target my ace ability here. It looks like it's going to land in a good spot in the top left. Should add a couple more melee there. Another Metamorphosis. All right, 3 bats left. I'm even going to change this up to strong targeting. 2, 1. Come on, let me say 0, will ya? The exit's in the bottom right corner, so yeah. We have cleared it. I have no idea how close that is to the exit, to be honest, but if I had to make an educated guess, we're probably pretty close to dying, so here's what I'm going to assume, given how 550 and 600 looked. I would say 575 kills us, even though I didn't test it yet. So if it does, then our next binary search round should be 562 or 563. And that's what I'll do, because seriously, each round is taking 15 minutes, and this is with needing to manually micro some towers. Again, you can't tech bot wizard, otherwise you're losing some crazy DPS. Oh, and that's game. Yep, told you it wouldn't be 575. So next number, I guess, would have to be 556. Honestly, 63 wasn't close, so I don't know if it'll work this round either. And it definitely won't be because of RNG, because I feel like every single round has pretty close to the same amount of FBADs, like, aka several dozen. Are one of these bats you're gonna exit? Oh, no, that was it. 556 kills us too. Well, time for 553. At this point, we should just literally play out every single round between this, but we pretty much know our approximate, like, death point, it seems. So I'll probably just do this one last round and call it a day. I'm clicking on the boat. Oh my god, and it died again. Yeah, 550 range is pretty much our limit, as you can see, so just a quick pop count check, even if a little bit inaccurate. 2 billion on the ace, 1 billion on the sub, 7 billion on the boat, but it got the benefit of one-shotting and hooking in, or getting it up early. Ninja Monkey always gets lots of pops, because the bats come in damaged. 1 billion on the boomer, 1.5 here, 500 million, and 700 billion. Now that was how long they survived on the longest map ever. However, what about the perfect map? AKA shrinking the width down to this size. Once again, I should have done this from the start, but I done goofed. And only once I started going in deep did I realize I made a grave mistake. But I genuinely believe this setup can now do around 600. Just you watch, because now I would say the Ace Paragon can, like, get up to double the amount of DPS. Same with the Dart Paragon, same with the Wizard and the Engineer too. In case you're wondering why I put it in these spots and not elsewhere, well, think about it this way. If these towers are placed behind where the B8As are, in between, you know, the log and the track, then it'll always be getting 2 sets of the bats at the same time. Whereas, say it was in the middle and it was shooting either up or down, it wouldn't get the damage from the B8A shooting up top, unless you maybe think that the hitbox is big enough that it would still clip it. This is just to be safe. This would guarantee it. And also shooting down straight lines. I feel like it has an opportunity to utilize more of its pierce, so yeah. Those hours you spent on the first run may just be moot now, but at least you guys were able to see the process of building up those degree hundreds. By the way, this was not built up legitimately, in case you can tell, but you certainly can. Just do the exact same steps. Never mind. We did not beat round 600. Okay, that might have been a little bit too ambitious, so we have to continue the binary sort then. 575. Surely this will still work out. I really, really hope we survive this. Another Phoenix Explosion, and we're down to 5 FBADs. 4, 3, 2, don't exit please, 1, and 0. Success. And just as a quick pop count check, 276 mil, 800, and 648 on the Wizard. Now, I actually can't believe I didn't do this earlier, but don't mind if I replace my sub Paragon real quick, because I want to submerge it, but I just realized that the place where I had the sub originally is in a spot where it's not in range of the Wizard, because obviously it'd be helpful to get the cooldown reduction on the Wiz Paragon too. I was just only thinking about the Ace, getting the cooldown of the Ace for some reason, but this spot, honestly, I think it's better submerged because I think most of the damage from the sub comes from the final strike anyway, so I can only hope that is the case. Round 588 now. Nope, apparently 588 kills us. 8 bads remaining. Now, that was with the submerge. I just gotta see though, how much of a difference will it make? It looks like it is doing, I swear it's doing just a little bit better with the sub Paragon like unsubmerged, but, well, we still die. same amount of bets left. I think overall it's a wash. So, okay, one last test in the middle. So how about 579? I know it's not perfectly in between, but it looks like it's likely to die closer to 575 than 587. That's just me, though. We are so close this round. 5 F-bats remaining. Let's blast off another DOT here, although maybe I should have waited for minimum says. I don't know, but nah. With 4 F-bats remaining, it is over, so GG. We can make a pretty reasonable assumption that this map gets us about 25 to 30 rounds more than the true longest map. And of course, before I go, let's do a very fair pop count check. 1.8 billion Wizard, 877 NG. That's higher than I thought. 3.4 billion Ninja, 706, 478, 6 billion on the boat, 2 billion on the Ace, and this was a bit not fair because I sold it earlier, but I would have guessed like 700 or something like that. But yeah, that's as far as we can go right now until the next Paragon is added, or they make the longest possible map even longer. Thanks for watching, and click here for more videos.